time for Baseball with the Bard.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 13 now of Baseball with the Bard. That's right, 3 weeks in a day. We have made it. So yes, thank you all for coming to watch Baseball with the Bard, presented by Clovercrest Media. The playoffs are off and running. The division series really only had one exciting series. The rest were kind of meh because they didn't end with any sort of excitement. No game fives except for one. So we'll get into that though. But we do want to quickly bring this up first. Noah, can you take over for a moment?
Yes, absolutely. We want to take a moment to remember the late, great Whitey Ford, who sadly passed away this last week. He was born in 1928. Edward Charles Whitey Ford, nicknamed the chairman of the board, pitched for the New York Yankees from 1950 to 1967. He would take off of baseball to serve in the military between 1951 and 1952. So talk about a man who obviously wants to play America's pastime and also defend this nation. So much respect for Whitey. Yankees manager Aaron Boone told reporters that Ford passed away on October 8th while surrounded by his family watching the Yankees versus Rays playoff game number 4 of the American League Division Series. He had quite the MLB career, to say the least. He leads the Yankees franchise record in pitcher victories, amounting to a record of 236 and 106 in a career. That's amazing. Unbelievable. And that record hasn't even been close to touched to this day. In 1961, Ford would win the Cy Young Award after going 25-4 on the season. And that is the year the manager of the Yankees decided he was going to do away with the 5-man rotation and to do a 4-man rotation, giving Whitey this opportunity to amount 25 impressive victories. He is a 10-time All-Star. He would lead the Yankees to 11 American League pennants in 16 years, and he won more World Series games than any other pitcher in Major League Baseball history with 6. Absolutely impressive stat there. He would start Game 1 of the World Series an astonishing 8 times. He carries World Series victories, which is the most in MLB history, with an amazing 33. And 33 and a half consecutive World Series scoreless innings, which broke a record held by Babe Ruth. He also still holds records for World Series starts with 22, innings pitched 146, and strikeouts at 94. Ford would be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1974 alongside teammate Mickey Mantle. So talk about a ballot there, Tyler. I mean, to have Mickey Mantle.
It's insane. With the names that you put this guy up next to, and it's just some of the stats you're reading. I'm just in awe.
It's unbelievable. Hal Steinbrenner would describe Whitey as a treasure and one of the greatest Yankees to ever wear the pinstripes. And we send our condolences to the Ford family during this tough time, and we are obviously here and opening up the show with remembering an absolute, not only Yankee, but baseball legend in the likes of Whitey Ford.
Yeah, an absolute massive loss coming to the Yankees and baseball altogether. Whitey Ford, a legend in baseball, lived a very full life. And I am glad to see that he passed with family around him, doing the best thing he loved the most, watching Yankee baseball. Whitey, it is very sad to see you go, but we are happy you lived such a full life. Baseball will surely miss you. Noah, would you like to say anything as a Yankee fan?
As a Yankee fan, it was tough to obviously get news that one of the players that has so much history in your organization has passed away. And when I heard that he passed away surrounded by family while watching Game 4 of the American League Division Series, Yankees versus Rays, I just got chills thinking about how much his life was baseball. To where literally on his deathbed, that was the one thing that he wanted to do, and that's watch the New York Yankees. So as a Yankees fan, it was tough to, and obviously seeing that, it was hard to hear about. But, it was one of those things to where baseball, it's a lot of our lives and it's America's pastime and we love it, and it's a tough loss to the Yankee community for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, Noah. It was a nice little tribute you had there, pulling up his facts and numbers over his career. It was very well done, Mr. Cross, but we don't want to stay on the negative for too long. So as we will miss you, it is, like everything, time to move on to the next subject. which is COVID, and there's nothing to report. So let's close that right out. COVID has not affected the MLB at all, as Noah
Thankfully.
states in the script earlier. Baseball's in a bubble. If this is why you listen to the podcast, what are you doing? There's really nothing going on with COVID right now. So we don't have to worry about that for the time being. If you're the NFL, on the other hand, get your game together, because you didn't learn anything from the MLB. Now, did you?
This is true.
But that, again, that's for another day, Noah. We've got plenty of time to talk about the NFL. We don't have much time left to talk about baseball, because the season is coming to a close. It's very sad.
It's very, very sad, sir. But hey, it's an exciting postseason so far.
So far, so good. It definitely is. But let's kick it off with Miami and the Braves. So as you see, the Braves went up 3-0. Oh, I say as you see when I didn't. I thought I clicked the thing, but I didn't. There it is. I hadn't clicked the thing yet. Hold on.
There we go.
There we go. So in game one, that was the only chance the Marlins had at showing any sort of reason of being in the playoffs. They actually scored some runs. So that's just like the Reds. There was a real lack of offense coming into this Miami ALDS, or I'm sorry, NLDS, which was a bit disappointing, Noah. Don't you think they come all this way just to only show up in game one?
I mean, disappointing if you're a Marlins fan, but I mean, this was an easy pick here of who was going to take this series, Tyler. I'm sorry.
Well, sure. It's just, I don't know. That's not fun. Where are the baseball gods? They definitely put their hands in the New York and Tampa series. So
that's for sure.
What are we doing over here with the Braves in Miami? We're just, screw it. We'll let you get to the second round and then see you later.
I mean, that's what it looks like, to be completely honest.
That was enough divine intervention from the baseball gods. They said, you got what you got, and that's it. Don't ask for more.
There you go. That's it. It's like the baseball god said, you know what, you made it this far and you shouldn't have. So here you go. Like,
you shouldn't have been here in the first place.
That's pretty much it.
Look, we already got this hater in the comments. Let me pull this up here real quick. Talk about the Padres losing, Tyler. Don't worry, Courtney. We'll talk about the Yankees losing in a little bit. That is really tough.
We will get
Don't worry.
to the Padres losing as well. We will definitely
listen. You don't have to. There's nothing you can do to me about the Padres losing. There's not a single thing you can say about me and Padres losing. You guys are Yankee fans.
I'll say you did have a big heart for the Padres this postseason. You can't disagree with that.
Oh, sure. But I hold absolutely no ill will towards the Dodgers for beating them. Like, come on. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Look, it's okay. She's angry because I was razzing her. I didn't razz you because I know, it was a delicate time for you. But Courtney got the full brunt of the fire. What is this? Yes. Well, hold on now.
We'll get there.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Courtney. We'll come back to you there. Hold the line. Just stay on the line, ma'am. We'll be with you shortly. Where were we going with this, Noah? Oh, yes, the Braves. So yeah, past game one, the Marlins were really silent. The Braves had a superior lineup and bullpen that led them to an easy game 2 and 3, victory. Travis d'Arnaud would drive in 7 runs in those 3 games. Ozuna, Acuna, and Swanson carried that offense. Kyle Wright and Ian Anderson would have great starts to secure games 2 and 3, and the Braves would go to the bullpen 11 times in the 3 games, and it worked to keep the formula hopefully running into the next round of the playoffs. The Braves bullpen would only give up 3 runs in the entire series. How about that fact?
Dude, that's locked down. That's it. Listen, when you give your ball to the bullpen late in the game, in a best of 5, that's what you want. You want the bullpen to go out there and say, you're done. Oh, thank you. We love you too.
We love you.
Everyone else watching, please join us in the comments. We love to hear from you. That's what you want from your bullpen. You want lockdown. You want, that's it. You're not going to score many runs. Have fun. Like we're here, but we're not going to let you get across the plate. So that's an impressive stat to only allow 3 runs the entire series out of the Braves bullpen. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, that was super, super exciting. And you know what? it was exciting to see a team do well, but it was just as less exciting to see the Marlins do so poorly. I really didn't watch too much of this because it just felt over. So I would watch the other games that were on, or football or racing or tennis or anything else, because this was boring. Even though one team was showing they are that much better.
Absolutely.
Noah, you want to take us into the next round here? We got the Padres and the Dodgers.
Gladly. So in this series of the NLDS, we saw the Padres take on the Dodgers. The Padres, who had a surge this season and looking like an extremely strong competitor, and they were. I mean, the Dodgers did win this series 3 games, swept them easily, what we would say would be easily, but the Padres
Right.
put up a fight. They put up a fight. Game 1, however, they didn't put up much of a fight.
No. I was like, oh no.
The Dodgers won 5-1 in game number 1, and Walker Buehler, as I stated here in the script, is a pitcher of a generation. He has a special arm. I always love watching him work. He is an absolute stud on the mound, and he's very young. I'm pretty sure he's like 24, if I'm not mistaken. And which is why I said this man's going to be a pitcher of a generation. I mean, he's leading off for the Dodgers. I mean, he's the Dodgers ace right now. I know they have Clayton Kershaw, but I mean, if you're in a best of 5 and you're the first pitcher going out there, you're the ace, sir. Like,
he's actually 26. He's a year older than me.
That's ridiculous, and he pitches like that. I mean, that's he's an unbelievable person to watch. He definitely carried the Dodgers in game 1 there. Game 2 would also go to the Dodgers. This one was a lot closer, as the Dodgers only had a 1-run. They only were scored 1 more run than the Padres. The final score was 5-6. Kershaw kept his team in the game, only allowing 3 runs. As we always say, a starter keeps their team in the game if they allow 3 or less. This would be the only game the Dodgers had to fight to win, and that's the truth. There is only won by 1 run. Game 3, the Dodgers would go up 12-3. This was the absolute decimation. The Dodgers putting an exclamation point on the series, saying, "We're here, you're not." Like, nice try. I'm sorry. This was a bullpen game for the Dodgers, as they only had Buehler and then Kershaw, but their bullpen, as you saw here, really did a good job for them. Dustin May, who was one of the newest additions to the Dodgers pen, opened up the bullpen game for game 3, which held the Padres offense only allowing 3 runs to cross the plate. The Dodgers came in as Titans and left as the NLW champions in quick fashion. Buehler and Kershaw showed how elite they really are as starting pitchers. Bellinger, Muncy, Seager, and Mookie Betts came together and put 9 runs across the plate in 3 games, giving their club an easy 3-game sweep. The Dodgers aren't good. As I said here, they are elite.
Yeah.
It is going to take one hell of a team to give them a challenge, and we'll get to who I think that team is later. The Dodgers scored 24 runs in the 3-game sweep over the Padres. And Tyler, I'm sorry, this was an absolute decimation.
Yeah, while they still showed up, the Padres, it just wasn't enough against this elite team that is the Dodgers. The Padres, they scored runs in every single game, and they made game 2 close. Game 3 was, whoa, boy, it was close for a little bit, and then see you later. They just absolutely took off, which who would have expected any less? Dodgers were the easy pick in day 1 of the season. They are still the easy pick right now, especially right now with the teams that remain in the playoffs. So yeah, again, Noah did it pretty well. This was a more exciting series, but again, a wash. The National League, the Braves and the Dodgers, good luck. Good luck anyone getting past those 2 right now. They are just absolute powerhouses. And I agree what you were saying about Buehler. Buehler is going to be a generational name. Our generation will have his name stuck on it. And I think he's going to be a Dodger for life, personally. And maybe in his late seasons, he'll be like a who am I thinking? The Yankees pitcher who hopped from the Pirates to the Yankees to the Twins to the oh gosh, I'm
thinking Pavano.
No, well, no, because I wouldn't consider him a generational pitcher.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
sorry, hometown boy.
I had the 2 correct, but
it'll come to me at some point later in the show. But you know what I mean. A lot of the pitchers stay with their team. A lot of great pitchers stay with their team their whole career, and then they settle in somewhere later on when they can't quite be as good as they are. When they go from being a Chris Sale to like, you know, some low Erod at the end of their career, you know.
Oh, okay. Wow.
You've seen Erod in the beginning of his career. He's
You're
doing the opposite. He's doing the opposite. Erod went from meh to all right, maybe if Chris Sale leaves, we have a new ace. So we don't have to talk about the Red Sox. How did this come up? Did I do this? Is it my fault? I'm sorry.
You did actually. Like,
I didn't mean it.
I would never bring up the Red Sox if I didn't have to.
Is this all my fault? I'm sorry, Red Sox. But yes, again, more exciting, but not nearly as exciting as where we are going now. The Astros and the Athletics. This series was actually a lot more fun to watch. I know you're making faces because you don't love either of these teams, but I had a great time watching this series because it actually felt like it was more of a contest.
Fair.
So in game one, the Astros bullpen would stop the bleeding after the fourth inning because for a second there, I was like, oh my gosh, Oakland is going to take it to Houston. The Astros offense went off. The 1-4 Springer, or 1-4, Springer, Altuve, Brantley, and Bregman would have a combined 5 RBIs, with Correa pushing across 4 from the 6th hole. In game 2, that was a 5-2 win for the Astros. Valdez would spare the bullpen rather in game 2, which was needed, allowing 2 runs through 7 innings of the work. The bullpen would then close the door. Springer and Correa would account for 4 of the 5 runs scored, and Maldonado would drive in the 5th run. In game 3, this was incredibly exciting. I remember watching this game and being asked if I could go grab something again, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know. This one's kind of good," but of course I did anyways. Love you, Mom. In game 3, it was a 9-7 win for the Athletics. Holy cow! We avoided a 3-series sweep. We are not seeing another sweep in this series. This game was incredibly fun to watch. There were many big hits and even bigger plays and strikeouts. The Athletics pitching would give up 7 runs, but their offense won them this game. Chad Pinder would come through big with a 3-run jack in the 7th, which would tie the game at 7 apiece. That felt like one of the postseason moments that we were going to be talking about for years, but because game 4 didn't go in their way, it's gone. And suddenly it is erased. But Pinder, incredible job. I don't want to take anything away from you. But you know, that's just how it goes. The history is written by the victors, so it's unfortunately going to be forgotten, except for like a little 2-second clip in MLB's postseason segment that they put on YouTube at the end of the season. Sean Murphy would hit a sac fly in the 8th, followed by Pinder, who would hit another sac fly to drive in an insurance run. The Athletics played hard in this one and snuck out with a victory. But in game 4, unfortunately, it went 11-6 in favor of the snooze Stros. More impressive offense from the Astros, unfortunately, and Altuve, Brantley, Tucker, and Correa, who would drive in 11 runs combined. Correa would drive in 5 on his very own. You know, I made fun of him a little while ago, Noah, for talking so much crap. And I said he's not able to back it up, but that was just heat of the moment. Like, I hate this guy. He's always been able to back it up. He's been one of the only guys on this team this year that has been able to back it up all year. Absolutely. And what I don't like about him, though, is he talks the most trash of anyone on the team. And he was one of the only players who was never in any question for cheating. So I don't understand why he's the one with the big mouth.
Yeah, I got you. I mean,
it drives me up a wall.
He's not going to not defend his buddies.
If you were cheating on my team, Noah, obviously I would be defending you, obviously.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be defending you to the end of the world, like calling people idiots for being annoyed. I would still have your back, but I wouldn't be like, let it go. No, I'm not going to let it go. You guys didn't get punished. I just really, really annoying to see this team getting to move on when a team that's more deserving, in my opinion, like the Oakland Athletics, has been eliminated. But yeah, the Athletics pitching staff simply could not keep the runners from crossing the plate. They would give up 7 runs in the first 3 innings, and it was really not going well. And Noah put a note here. It says, if you haven't put it together, that's a bit more than what Tyler and Noah would say is the 3 runs to keep your team in it. A bit of a fun note there in the script from Noah. Athletics bullpen wouldn't do them any favors, giving up 4 runs late in that game. Semien, LaStella, and Laureano would put up a fight for the A's, driving in 6 runs, but it wouldn't matter, and the pitching fell apart. Eddie Uba and I were texting through that whole game. Eddie is one of our listeners who was commenting in last week, and I was amping him up. I was like, we're gonna do it. Let's go. And then
you gave that man
texting for about an hour.
So much false hope.
But yeah, unfortunately, the Astros haven't stopped beating the hell out of these teams. They are just playoff monsters. When they get to the playoffs, they are one of the hardest teams to beat, because now, especially this year, they feel like they need to prove themselves. Because they are being told, you can't win without they have a Tom Brady complex. You can't win without cheating. So now they have to go and prove it, just like Tom Brady did. So hopefully that's not the case for these guys, because it's the last thing anyone in baseball, except for Astros fans, wants. Absolutely. Is an Astros COVID Cup. So let's keep that from happening. Please, if you don't mind, Tampa Bay Rays. But before we go there, Noah, there's a note here that you wanna lead off. So
yes, if you don't mind, I would
please
like to,
wait before you lead off. Can we just answer this? A few questions from our viewers here. Let me get rid of this graphic really quick. Courtney wants to know, will we ever see a Gardy party again in New York?
Oof.
Yes, I think he's going to go year to year from now on. He's never going to get a big contract. He's going to get a 1-year, $5 million contract, and he's going to fill in and left. That's Gardy's contract.
It's a tough question because the Yankees have a lot of outfield depth. I mean, you got Frazier now, you got Stanton now, you got Hicks who could play left. Judge could play
a trade though. There's a trade coming, and you're going to lose one of them.
You got Talkman who could play left. So there's a lot of pieces that you have to plug in over there. I mean, and Talkman's the lefty that you could have to really fill in for that lefty spot that Gardner would have in the lineup if you really wanted him to be there. I still think Gardner will have one. This is it, though. Like, this is it. Gardner gets one more year in pinstripes, and I think he'll retire. I don't think Gardner wants to go to another team. Not
a chance. He retires a Yankee. It's the same thing with Pedroia. The dude will retire before they trade him.
Absolutely.
Or he signs somewhere else.
So if the Yankees don't sign Gardner, I can't really say like, what the hell? Because I mean,
right.
I love Gardner. Don't get me wrong. I just can't say, that's a bad move, because it's not. They have a lot of depth in their outfield.
So you've completely outlined all of the reasons as to why he could stay or go, but what do you think?
I think he'll have one more year, and that's it.
Okay, cool. And then one more from Mr. Rich Bracha. He says they shouldn't be allowed there. I assume focusing in on the Houston Astros.
No, I think he's talking about the Athletics, so how bad they were. Or I'm not sure.
I don't know about that. I think he means Houston having a 27-29 record should not be allowed in the playoffs. God. And he, like me, is a big Houston hater. So, Rich, we agree with you. Houston should be, or at least I do. Houston should not be anywhere close to the playoffs. But here we are, and we got to deal with it all over again. So, Noah, please, I'm sorry I interrupted you. Take it away.
No worries. So, obviously, everyone knows I'm a Yankees fan. Watching this series, I have to say, I don't know why this loss hurt a lot more than years prior. Like, last year was tough to see the Astros beat the Yankees again. The year before that, the Red Sox beat the Yankees, who people say is the most heated rival in shut your mouth. Is the most heated rival. Keep it that way. Is the most heated rival in the game in the likes of the Red Sox. They beat us in the postseason. It hurt, but it wasn't that bad. The year before that, we lost to the Astros, and I was actually able to go to one of those ALCS games, number 4, where the Yankees started to mount their comeback against the Astros. And again, it didn't hurt that bad. This year just feels different. I mean, like I said, I was disappointed in 2017, 18, and 19. this year. I just feel defeated as a Yankees fan. Wow. I did that. The great graphic there. Noah cried for 24 hours for our listeners on who don't have any visuals. Thanks. The Yankees, per usual, had a great regular season. They went on a tear during the 60-game season. It would fall apart towards the end, but they still made it to the postseason. It's disappointing yet again to see your team, who you pour so much emotion into, let you down again. Just before the postseason started, the Yankees organized and had a few important owns. It was just a lot of things that I couldn't let go. Like who was going to pitch in the 3, 4, or 5 hole with Sevy and Paxton on the IL. You have Montgomery, you have Devi, you have Happ. Like who's going to get that role in a playoff game? And the biggest unknown to me was who was Boone going to give the catching call to. You had Kyle Higashioka and Gary Sanchez there, and these are unknowns that, to me as a fan, I don't want to have to hear or talk about. It's like we're this far into the season. We should know what our plan is. We don't need to be moving things around and trying to figure things out this late, because this is what happens. You lose. This is not the part of the season to be figuring things out. The team should be going out there and just simply playing baseball. Like they should. This is our lineup. This is who plays. This is what we're doing. Let's do it. Obviously, injuries had a part in that, but still, with the catching confusion as to who's going to catch the game, that just doesn't really put a good mindset into anybody. But leading into us diving into this, I am not going to sit here and talk about how bad the Yankees played, because they didn't in 2 of those games. I'm going to praise the Rays for a series very well played, because they simply deserve it, and they played some damn good baseball.
Well said, Noah. They did. They absolutely played great baseball. And as you all can see from, if you've been with us since episode 1, one of my pick to win the World Series is in, and yours is out. But at least you still have one that you said will be there in the Dodgers. So both of us have one World Series contender eliminated, but I am the only one whose winner is still alive in Tampa Bay. But Noah, since you are a Yankee fan, I will let you take the reins on this 5-game series.
Well, thank you very much, sir. You are too kind. Yankees versus Rays, and this series would be the only one where we would have a do or die game number 5 in the division series all across baseball. The Rays would go up 3-2 over the Yankees. Game 1, the Yankees would take 9-3, and the Yankees were in Yankee form, as it's dubbed here in the script. Cole on the mound would give up 3, keeping his team in the fight. If the Yankees did not have Giancarlo Stanton, they would have been in trouble, but they did. So, he would seal the deal in Game 1 with a grand slam in the top of the 9th. Yes, bye-bye Yankees, you are correct there, sir. Judge, Hicks, and Kyle Higashioka would join the RBI fray, pushing across another 4 runs. In Game 2, the Rays would go up 7-5. The Rays' offense and lights-out bullpen would carry them through this game. Austin Meadows, Arozarena, Margot, Kiermaier, and Zunino would get into the RBI action. Glasnow had a good start. LeMahieu and Stan would be the only ones to push across runs in the Yanks' losing effort. The dumbest bait and switch I've certainly ever seen was when they decided to put Devi Garcia into the game to start game number 2. We were all happy about it, excited. As a Yankee fan, I was excited. I work in the middle school. A lot of the students and I talk baseball all the time, and they're big Yankee fans, and they were excited for Davey, ready to see what he could do. Davey, excuse me. And then they bait and switched and put in J.A. Happ, the king of the 3-run home run. And by that, I mean he gives them up all the time. Tyler, can we pause for a minute and can you talk to me? What do you think of the Yankees doing this? Now, we've seen managers do this before, where they put in a righty, switch with a lefty, or vice versa. What do you think of them doing it with Devi Garcia? Because normally when you see this, I can give you an example. The Brewers did this last year, and they took out a pitcher and they put in a pitcher. Hello, nice to see you, Megan. They took out a pitcher and they put in one, Brendan Williams, who we say would be much better. And we were like, oh, look what you did. Good. I think they put in Wade Miley, took him out, put in Brendan Williams immediately. Yep. Right?
I remember we were watching that live. Yes. We're like, is he hurt? No. Oh, okay.
It was just Craig Counsell being like, oh, look what I can do.
Got you.
And did that one work? I can't remember if that one worked or not.
No, we were just confused. It didn't alter the game in any way.
Yeah, exactly. This one, Obviously. I mean, we can't say Debbie would have pitched better. He didn't look bad in the first inning. I mean, he gave up one run. So did Cole.
No, you know what? No. Yes, we could have.
No,
based
you couldn't
based
have.
on how the game turned out.
Yes, with J.A. Happ on the mound. We do
That
not
was a mistake.
know what Debbie could have done, is what I'm saying.
We don't know for sure, but are you going to tell me that it was a good move?
Oh, absolutely.
I know you were asking me. That was literally the question you pitched towards me, and absolutely not. I've watched a lot of Yankee content over the last 3 days, last 2-3 days, in between when this happened, and the number one criticism is Aaron Boone, and his decision to make that pitching change. You guys should be headed to the ALCS. And I fully accredit the loss to Aaron Boone. There shouldn't have even been a game 5. This should have been over in 4. And it wasn't because of Aaron Boone. I think Aaron Boone is an incredible coach. He's got you guys in 3 incredible seasons, 2 or 3 now, right?
Yeah, 3.
3 incredible seasons. 2 of which 100-win seasons. Wow, that is some incredible managing. But in the Yankees territory, it's World Series or bust. And unfortunately, managers have found that out the hard way in New York. This, honestly, as crazy as this statement's going to sound, Noah, bear with me for a second, is the most losing New York Yankees squad ever. They have not won a championship since 2001.
Mm-hmm.
That has never, or 2009, excuse me.
2009, yeah.
Yeah, right. 2009. So that is now 11 years, and they've never done they've never lost between 10 years until last year. So I don't know, man. In short, bad idea.
Absolutely. There was another questionable Boone. We don't know whose decision it was in terms of this pinch hit, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Oh,
game.
Lord, yeah.
Well, I want to get yours on that as well. But back to game 2. Besides Stanton and LeMahieu, the Rays pitching staff would silence the so-called bombers, and they weren't bombing too much in this game, folks. In game number 3, the Rays would win this one 8-4, and I put an LOL after this one because that's what it was. It was a joke to kind of see the Yankees perform in this game. This is, I think, the game that was the tipping point, if you ask me, to be honest. Charlie freaking Morton, as I dubbed him, would pitch 5 innings of 1-run ball. Tanaka would give up 5 runs through just the first 4 innings, and he did not keep his team in the game whatsoever. Chad Green would come in from the bullpen and give up a 2-run home run, and thus giving the Rays a sizable lead early on. The Rays offense would again go off. Kiermaier and Perez would hit 8 and 9, and they would drive in 6 runs from the bottom of the order. The Rays bullpen, led by Diego Castillo, would dominate the Yankees, and Diego Castillo is a special pitcher. I mean, he's freaking good. There's no other way to put it. No other way to put it. Game number 4, the Yankees would take, as they usually do in their formula, and I'll get to that later. And they would win this one 5-1. Jordan Montgomery would give the Yankees a solid 4 innings of 1-run ball. The bullpen would pick up where he left off and silence the hot bats of the Rays. Stanton, LeMahieu, Voit, Gardner, Glaber, and Higashioka would come through with big RBIs. And Glaber would hit a 2-run booming home run in the 6th to cement the Yankees' lead. This was a fun game to watch as a Yankees fan because they won. Why not?
Dude, I thought it was over. I thought the Rays were done for in game 5 after this game.
Yeah, I mean, seeing what they were able to do, they silenced their bats. It looks like they had them figured out. But game 5, oh my gosh, what a freaking baseball game.
This is postseason baseball at its best.
Dude, you said it. I mean, you could not get 2 more teams that are, honestly, in this game, they were even. They were both elite, and they both killed each other because the final score was 2-1. I mean, it was just an unbelievable pitching duel. It was amazing.
And there's just one picture that I have to compliment this game, and it's this, Noah. Feel free to have comments.
Yep. Absolutely. You are correct.
2 straight years for Aroldis Chapman.
You are correct.
Just smiling as a baseball flies over his head late in the game, costing them a championship.
Mm-hmm.
That is the best way I can describe how this series ended.
Absolutely.
Big mistakes.
Absolutely. Back to the coverage of Game 5. Both teams are evenly matched from a pitching standpoint. In Game number 5, Garrett Cole would put the team on his back with 3 days rest and go 5 innings of 1-run ball. And Tyler Glasnow on 2 days rest would do the same and pitch 2 innings of 0-run ball. There are many great plays. Gardner robbed a home run, which for Brett Gardner in left field is kind of amazing. I think that my favorite thing I saw from that was on Reddit. There's a video of Gardner robbing it, and the caption was, "Did Gardner really just do that?" And he's like, "Yes, yes, he did."
That's why he's going to get a contract.
Yeah, well, there you go. Right, the Rays and Yankees bullpens would escape many big jams. They were both on their A game. And then the moment of the night here, where Mike Brousseau would hit a solo shot off of Aroldis Chapman, who was asked to go roughly 40 pitches for 2 1/3 innings. After the game, Brousseau would be asked if the homer was hit out of redemption. His answer was a classy answer as a baseball player. You know, I mean, let's put it this way, Tyler. If Carlos Correa was asked that question, you know what his answer would be.
Oh,
however,
hell yeah.
There you go. But Mike Brousseau, in a true professional form, said, "No revenge. We put that in the past. We came here to win a series, and that's what we do." And I put all around class-filled baseball. You can't listen. That was his quote. Those were his words, right?
Oh, yeah.
You can say whatever you want. In this game,
find it.
I just had some head-scratching decisions by the Yankees, and this is the one I want to get your opinion on. Tyler, when the Yankees, I don't know if it was Boone or whoever else, decided that pinch hitting Mike Ford,
oh my God,
would be a good idea. Now, I don't know if anyone here's a fan of John Boy, which it should be because he's awesome, big Yankees fan, and he was doing a reaction. He was watching the game and he was filming his reaction with his buddy on their show, Watching Yanks. And he had a great reaction. Like, it was almost like a jump scare from what he described it, where they cut to Ford in the box, and he was like, "What?" And he was just shocked. And I had the same reaction. Like, this is what we're doing. Like, what's your reaction to that, Tyler?
Are you kidding me? Like, how in the world? All season, Noah, all season, I have crapped on the head of Gary Sanchez all season, and I've said Kyle Higashioka, Higgy, should be your catcher right now. He has been absolutely incredible this postseason, and you take him out for a guy like Ford? Come on. Really? I don't care what kind of chess game you were trying to make. That was insane. What a horrible, horrible call. And if you had someone like Stanton sitting on the bench, that would have been a call where I'd be like, okay, you know what? We need to win this game. It's late. Let's put someone in who is definitely going to hit a home run, or at least get on to like second or third. Because as one of our viewers here, Courtney, is asking who's going to hit the most home runs, I could say who was going to hit the most home runs, and it's Giancarlo Stanton. So if he was on the bench, I would have put him in. Mike Ford is definitely not that person. So I get it. The matchup with come on. This is the Rays. They're not some little preschool team that you can do these little chess moves against that they're going to not be able to adjust. It's not going to happen. They're going to know what they're doing. Aaron Boone, you better be careful and choose your words wisely this offseason, because you might be on your way to Cleveland to be a bench coach, because that's where good players go to die. So just watch yourself.
Oh gosh. So to sum this series up, the Yankees would follow their recipe of winning game 1 of a playoff series, as they usually do.
Always do.
That they followed last year and the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they would also follow their recipe of losing games 2 and 3. Thankfully, they would follow the recipe of sneaking out a win in game number 4. And unfortunately, they would go back to their recipe of not being able to get the job done. And that's literally been the tempo that the Yankees follow.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's the same.
It is, Noah, it is insane. But I got to bring something up really quick. You and I weren't watching together, but we kind of were watching Game 5 because we were texting the whole time. And I just want to bring up our texting conversation because I texted you at 10:15.
Yes, you did.
When Brasso hit the plate, saying, dude, Brasso wants to go deep so bad. And I was just, you could feel it in the at bat. I believe the announcers even said, man, wouldn't this be a absolute moment? And that at bat lasted a while. He had the one he ripped down the left field line. He ripped one down the right field line. He ripped one way up above himself over the backstop. And I'm like, you going to stop throwing him fastballs? Because he's on it. And if you throw him one more, he's going to absolutely boom. And then it was gone. And I texted you a series of about 8 texts where I go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Then I sent laughing text. I said, I didn't mean it. And then about 5 minutes pass, I go, Noah. And then you sent me a bunch of crying emojis.
Yes.
So
Yes, correct. That is
oh God, there's nothing better. And this is when I afterwards told you I'm the prediction god. Because this season I've just been like, you know what? Home run. And then it happens. So that was probably my best ever because it happened in a postseason moment. And it was just so clean that when that was off the bat, that was just like the Rafael Devers home run off of Chapman, just ripped. I think that ball was in the air for maybe 3 seconds.
Yep.
Because he hit it so hard. Well, when you throw a ball at 102 miles per hour, if I just threw the bat out there, I got a chance of hitting it out of the park. So you got to be careful. This kid was absolutely looking to hit a home run as revenge for getting thrown at his head. I don't care what you say, Brasso. That was revenge. Not a chance in hell. If you can be the one to de-head the Yankees by going after the second, maybe third greatest closer in Yankee history, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that little tidbit up there for you.
Yes, absolutely. And that would lead right into the wrap up of this game. It would be the Rays would decimate in games 2 and 3 and best the Yankees in game 5. They simply had a more reliable rotation and offense and obviously a better overall team. The Yankees followed the same exact pattern as the year before and the year before that. So here we are. And that leads me into the second half of my monologue here as a Yankee
Oh, that's
fan.
right. Sorry, let me take this off the screen. Yes.
Yes, thank you, sir. This, like I said, this was an extremely emotional series as not only a baseball fan, but even more emotional as a Yankee fan. To be completely frank, I didn't have too much fun watching game number 5. I mean, I was just kind of hanging on every pitch. I watched every pitch. I was glued to the TV, but I didn't enjoy myself at all. It was a stellar baseball game, absolutely. I just still couldn't get into it as the Yankees fan that I am because the emotions were just too rampant at the time. I've enjoyed watching the Yankees be blown out more than this game, to be completely honest. I mean, I've watched some decimation of Yankees games. I've been to games in person where the Yankees have blown it late, and I've enjoyed myself at least. But this game, I just couldn't hang on. As I said before, I don't know why, it just felt like a different loss as a Yankees fan. They absolutely fell apart as an offense. I mean, they left 6 on base in game 2, 7 on base in game 3, and 5 on base in game 5 for a total of 17 left on base in the 3 games that they lost. They were 2 for 8 in game number 2, 1 for 3 in game number 3, and 0 for 1 in game 5 with runners in scoring position. Like I said, they just could not get the job done. They couldn't get those runners in, not including Stanton. The Yankees 1 through 5, which consisted of LeMahieu, Judge, Hicks, Voit, and then Stanton. As I said, not including him, those 4 only drove in 9 runs in the 5 games, and they would have drove in 19 with Giancarlo Stanton. That's how much of that. That's how important that guy is to have on our organization. Just to give an example here, the Astros 1 through 5 drove in 14 runs in 4 games. The Dodgers drove in 12 in 3 games, and the Rays drove in 13 in 5 games. So definitely inferior to the Yankees, minus Giancarlo Stanton there. So it's very important that we have him, obviously. It is clear who had the superior lineup. The Tampa Bay Rays had a 1 through 3. The Yankees simply did not have that. They were down Paxton and Sevy. Would it have been different with them? Who knows? They're 2 elite guys. They're 2 guys who can definitely go out there and win big games. Would they have been able to do it this year? You can't say, but you can definitely say that the Yankees probably could have used more reliable arms than what we had to scrape together in this postseason. I don't even have to go into the bottom of the order here. The bottom of the Yankees lineup just couldn't get the job done. I mean, Labor had 1 big home run, sure. Urshela had a big home run in the wild card, sure, but in this division series, they were pretty much silent. This is yet another season of great Yankees baseball with an abysmal end to the season. I honestly can't blame Chapman too much for that home run. You know, it was one home run. He was out there asking to get, they asked him to get 7 outs. You know, they wanted him to go 40 pitches, whichever came first, and it just happened. I can't really compare it to the last year's home run because that was the Astros, and we knew what they were up to. He was just bested by Brosseau, who had an amazing at-bat to put that ball over the wall. Cole definitely did his job. The lineup let him down, to say the least, especially in game number 5. Garrett Cole went out there, put the team on his back, and did exactly what we asked him to do, and that was keep us in the game. The Yankees could not deliver. They could not help Garrett Cole out and get him any runs. This one hurt so much, as I said before, and I think the biggest question that a lot of Yankees fans are asking is, where do we go from here? You know, it is a clear formula the Yankees are using. Does not really work in the postseason. I mean, 3 years in a row with the same team, and then a decade of disappointments in the postseason. Now a decade and a year of 11 years in a row of the Yankees not being able to make it to the World Series. The formula they're using seems to be a little inconsistent in the postseason. So we'll see where they go from there. What can the Yankees get? Can the Yankees get the starting rotation to be efficient past Garrett Cole? As I said, there was a few holes there with Severino down and Paxton down. Obviously, we have Tanaka still. He wasn't able to really help us out in game number 3. So past Garrett Cole, it still seems that we have a lot of issues in that pitching rotation that still need to be addressed. What does the Yankees need to do to boost their postseason offense? We see them all throughout the year tear it up when it comes. I mean, they had the leader in MLB home runs in the likes of Luke Voit, who couldn't do anything in this series except for put one homer over the wall. What can they do to keep the efficiency that they have in the postseason? The efficiency that they have in the regular season in the postseason. And to be completely frank here, Michael Kay said it best, where the Yankees have a lot to be proud of, but we also still have a lot to work on. And I love this team. I love my Yankees. I will never not be a fan. This team, they let Garrett Cole down, to be completely honest. But worse off, they let the fans down for the 11th year in a row. And that is the monologue from the heart of a Yankee fan.
And can I just say to the Astros fans who are telling Yankees fans, you're welcome for giving you Garrett Cole, oh, good job, he did so great for you in the playoffs. Not a single moment of blame is to be spent on Garrett Cole.
Not even close.
Because Garrett Cole did his job. The Yankees offense did not show up in game 5, but neither did the Rays offense. That was just a pitcher's duel, and both of the starters showed their cards. And Joe, unfortunately, is not producing for us today, but I was also texting him during the game, and I talked to him and I said, this is going to cost them when they kept Aroldis Chapman in as long as they did. I was like, this is it. And he goes, no, he's fine. I go, no, I feel it. I'm on a roll, Joe. I can feel it coming. The Yankees played a hell of a season. Congratulations, New York Yankees. You were the easy front run pick before the season started. But injuries and loss of pitching definitely caused you guys to fall just a little bit short. So from a Red Sox fan, congratulations on a great run. And I can't wait to kick your ass in 2021. We will see you next year. But for now, come meet us on hole 9. We're about halfway through. So we'll see you on the golf course. Let's take a look, moving on, Noah, to the championship series. We had a question earlier from Courtney asking us who our picks are going to be moving on in the playoff run here. So I have a little bit of a graphic that Joe pulled up for us earlier. We're moving on to the NLCS. We have the Dodgers versus the Braves.
Look at the people on this right now. Just
can you believe it?
Talk about elite baseball.
This is going to be fun. I am very much looking forward to this one. Game 1 is going to be on FS1 or Fox at 8:08. That is Monday, I believe.
Yes.
So the other game starts tonight in about 45 minutes. So we will be seeing that very shortly. But I am going to take the Dodgers.
I mean, thank you.
I take the Dodgers in 7. I think this goes all the way. And I think I think there's going to be some high-scoring games. But I think I'll say in 7, I'm not going to pick any scores except for game 7. And I say in game 7, the final score is 8-7 on a walk-off or at least 9th inning win from the Dodgers. I think they'll be the home team, correct? They were the winningest team in baseball. Yeah. So walk off the bat. You want me to do get real bold?
Oh, here we go.
Walk off the bat of Mookie Betts.
Oh, that's just sweet victory right
Wouldn't that be tasty?
I'd love.
What are you thinking? You agreeing with me?
Oh, dude, I'm gonna go with the Dodgers 1,000,000,000%. They are the juggernaut team in this playoff. As I said before, there's one team who I think could maybe take it to the Dodgers. And that team is the Rays.
Yeah.
All day, every day, twice on Sunday. That would be one hell of a World Series, Dodgers versus the Rays. But we will see. I'm excited for the Dodgers. I don't think it'll go 7 games. I honestly think it'll go 5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest.
Disrespectful.
The Braves just beat the Marlins, bro. Let's be completely honest here.
Fair enough, but they swept the floor with them. It wasn't like it was close.
It was the Marlins.
So they made the playoffs. You're acting like they're not a playoff team.
They made the extended playoffs, sir.
And?
All right. Do we have any baseball standings from the last day of the season?
I don't think I have a picture of it. No.
I got them right here. Give me 10 seconds.
Okay, you got it.
The Miami. Okay, all right. I'll
weird.
give you this.
That's weird.
They weren't.
The Marlins
were 31-29. The Braves here. I'm sorry. The Braves were 35-25.
Only 4 games
They
better.
beat that team. The Dodgers are 43-17.
Surprise.
Dude, they are going to. I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest. The Braves are a good team. I love them. I thought they were going to go to the World Series last year, and they didn't. All right. Especially because when they fell apart facing the Cardinals.
Yeah, but you're making it sound like the Dodgers are going to tear them to shreds.
I'm telling you this. I honestly think that the Braves are going to fall apart again.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm going
Bold predictions from Noah.
Yep. You want to bold predict and walk-offs, Mookie Betts, all that? I'm going to bold predict the Braves are going to fall apart in the NLCS, and they're going to lose the Dodgers in 4.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. In 5.
In 5. Yeah, you said 5. Yeah. All right. It's fair. I get how that could happen, but Noah, come on. Let's have some fun and stop with these short series. I want 7 games.
That one's going to be short.
Astros versus Rays, Petco Park, game 1 tonight in an hour and 8 minutes. So we will be watching that live for sure.
On TBS.
It is going to be on TBS. Yes, excuse me if I didn't say that. My bad. It is going to be a lot of fun. We've got the Houston Astros, the red hot Houston Astros versus Tampa, who's coming off of a hard-fought tooth and nail victory over the Bronx Bombers. This is going to be so fun. I think this also goes 7 games. We're going to have an absolute showdown at Petco Park. That is a home run stadium, and there are going to be a lot in this series. I am taking Tampa Bay in 7.
I'll be honest. If any series was going to go 7, it would definitely be this one. These are 2 teams that, the Astros, not a lot of people would say were amazing this year, but they're still the Houston Astros.
They still looked good. They just happened to lose. Right. It's like the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are a good team that just blows games late. This is what happened to Houston this year. And granted, their batting wasn't as good as it was when they were wearing monitors and listening to trash cans. But they still played well.
Absolutely.
They just happened to lose a lot of games, more games than they won, which is why they shouldn't be in the playoffs. But we already talked about that.
Fair enough,
so yeah, let's. What do you think?
For the sake of competition, I'm gonna have to unfortunately go with the Houston Astros.
Oh boy,
in 7. I honestly think that they're going to best the Rays. I think that they're built for this spot. They've done it before. Unfortunately, they did it last year. Unfortunately, I just think they're that team, and I honestly really think we were sleeping on them hard, and that's the fact. Unfortunately, again, I think that the Astros are going to make it to another freaking World Series.
I'm disappointed with you. You get the trash can again.
Again, for the sake of, I mean, we couldn't agree on everything. So
All right.
I'll go with
for the
it.
sake of better. So you're using my preseason excuse right now for your postseason excuse. All right, that's fair enough.
I'll be completely honest, though. As a baseball fan, it would be easy to say, "Oh, I hope the Astros lose because of the Astros," or as a Yankees fan, it'd be easy to say, "I hope the Rays lose because they just beat the Yankees." This series, this American League series, I honestly don't care who wins. I'm sorry.
What are you talking about?
Seriously,
are you just checked out? Is that why?
Oh yeah, I'm not saying checked out because I'm pumped to see the Dodgers beat the Braves. Like I'm ready with the Dodgers now. Let's do it. They're my guys. They deserve it. Especially they got robbed in 2017 by the Astros. So I'm all for the Dodgers now. That's what I'm going with. But to be completely honest, I'm sorry. The Astros Rays, I don't care.
Ugh.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna watch it. Obviously,
it's gonna be more fun. That series.
I agree. I'm gonna watch it.
Fun.
I'm gonna watch it for the sole interest of baseball. But in terms of the teams that are in that spot, it could have been anybody. If it's good baseball,
there's emotion in that. And the only reason I would want Houston to move on is if they move on, the baseball gods are real. And it is so that the Dodgers can just destroy them in 4. Mm-hmm. That is the only reason that the baseball gods may allow Houston to get through Tampa Bay. But for the sake of my ego, let's go Rays.
Fair enough.
Thank you everybody so much for joining us for episode 13. Yes, you heard me right. Episode 13 of Baseball with the Bard. We appreciate Clovercrest for letting us put this show on for this incredible season. We have a few more episodes before the end of the actually it might just be one depending on no, 2. It'll be 2 depending on how long these ALCS, NLCS and COVID Cup go. And we will talk about our future as those episodes come to an end. But let me just give you a quick word on our Clovercrest Media. If you love podcasts, visit clovercrestmedia.com for a wide selection of great shows covering sports, business, relationships, pop culture, politics, and true crime. We even have some ghost podcasts now, Noah. Brand new. Coming, we'll talk more about on the next podcast. We're getting a commercial for it. Okay. There are now 30 shows plus on the CMG network. And if you don't find one you like, why not just start your own? We can help you launch your own podcast for as little as $15 a month. ClovercrestMedia.com is the website, and make sure you check it out and tell your friends about it. You can visit ClovercrestMedia.com and click on the link for the latest on your CMG sports podcast, as well as the blogs, videos, and latest info. Once again, thank you everyone for listening in to Baseball with the Bard. My name is Tyler Bard, and that is my best friend, Noah Cross. We will see you all next time.
Time for Baseball with the Bard.